231 years. That is how long Oak Island has been keeping its secret. 231 years of treasure hunters, engineers, millionaires and obsessives who came to this tiny island off the coast of Nova Scotia and went home empty-handed. 6 men who did not go home at all. And then, on March 17, 2026, a 40,000-pound boulder came off the ground. And everything changed. Welcome back. This is Season 13 Episode 18 of The Curse of Oak Island, titled Breaking the Seal. And this is not a recap video. This is a history video. Because what the team uncovered beneath that boulder on Lot 8 is not just the biggest discovery of this season. It may be the biggest discovery in the entire 231-year history of this mystery. A man-made feature, unbuilt by human hands, sealed under a stone that no one thought to move, pointing down into a shaft or tunnel that has been waiting in the dark since before any nation on this continent had a name. The seal is broken, and today we are going to talk about what that actually means. To understand the full weight of Episode 18, you need to understand the 14 days that led up to it, because the boulder came off in Episode 16, and what the team spent Episodes 17 and 18 doing was peeling back what was underneath it, layer by layer, and every layer was more astonishing than the last. Archaeologist Fiona Steele was the one on her knees in that excavation, hands in the soil, reading the ground the way you can only read it by being in direct contact with it. What she found first, directly beneath where the boulder had been sitting, was a formation of stacked rocks, not loose, not scattered, stacked, deliberately arranged on only one side of the feature, which she assessed was intentional, possibly the side of the construction that was carrying the structural load of the boulder above it. The rocks had been placed to hold the boulder in position from beneath, like the bracket of a door, like the setting of a stone in a ring. Fiona's words in the field were direct and measured, the way archaeologists speak when they need to be precise. She said the structure could predate the 1700s. She said there is no similar feature anywhere else in Nova Scotia, not a comparable formation, not a parallel construction. Nowhere else on the entire landmass does anything like this exist. Think about that. A unique, pre-1700s, deliberately built stone structure on a remote island, and it was sitting under a 40,000-pound boulder that no one examined for over 2 centuries. As she dug deeper, she uncovered flagstone-like rocks in the floor of the structure. Flat, tightly packed, deliberately laid. Not a mosaic of chance, a surface, a constructed floor. Rick Lagina, standing over the excavation, speculated immediately about European stone construction methods. He was right to, because nothing about this feature belongs to any known indigenous tradition in the region. This construction came from somewhere else. Someone brought this knowledge to Oak Island. Now here is where the science stepped in and confirmed what the archaeology was suggesting. And Dr. Ian Spooner, the geoscientist from Acadia University who has been analyzing this island's soil chemistry across multiple seasons, returned to the Lot 8 feature with his handheld X-ray fluorescence device, a tool that reads elemental composition of materials in the field in real time. What his XRFF scanner found in the sediment around the stacked rock formation was elevated lead, not background lead from natural soil chemistry. Elevated lead, the kind of lead concentration that points to one very specific historical activity: underground burning operations, fire setting. The ancient mining and construction technique where controlled combustion beneath the surface is used to fracture rock, drive shafts deeper and create ventilation in sealed underground chambers. Medieval engineers used fire setting to construct the underground vault systems built across Europe by the Knights Templar and their predecessors. It was skilled, organized, deliberate engineering, not primitive digging. Dr. Spooner confirmed it plainly. The rocks did not end up in that position naturally. The organic matter surrounding the formation proved it. Someone placed those rocks. Someone laid that flagstone floor. Someone burned underground here with purpose. And then someone put a 40,000-pound boulder on top of the whole thing and walked away. The only question is who and why. That question has been the engine of this show for 13 seasons. But in Season 13 the answers have been arriving faster and more specifically than at any point in the investigation's history. Start with the 700-year-old English bag seal found in the Lot 8 deposit zone earlier this season. A lead seal bearing the sheepskin of the Golden Fleece, the specific mark of the wool merchants of Leeds, Yorkshire, England, dated to the 1300s. No European presence in Nova Scotia is formally documented before the late 1400s. But that bag seal is from the 1300s. Someone was here a century before history says anyone was here, carrying a specific trade seal from a specific English city, doing something significant enough enough to seal it, bury it, and cover the whole operation with a stone so massive it would take 231 years of technological development before anyone could lift it. Then there is the medieval wool textile with red dye found in the same deposit. Another 14th century object in the same ground, not one medieval artifact but two, pointing to an organized presence on Lot 8 at a time when this island did not officially exist in any European record. And then, this is the detail from episode 17 that most people have not fully processed. A second piece of hand-wrought chain was pulled from the spoils at the wash plant. Aaron Barkhouse found it. Gary Drayton examined the links and identified it as potentially dating to the 1600s to 1700s, with each link formed by hand, not machine. Gary's assessment was that it could be connected to a treasure chest. That is two separate chain finds in the Lot 8 investigation zone. Both hand-wrought, both old, both consistent with a large-scale organized operation that brought heavy hauling equipment to this specific piece of ground centuries ago. Someone moved that boulder. Someone had the equipment to do it. They left the chains in the ground when they were done. Now let's talk about what this all means when you zoom out and look at the complete picture Season 13 has built. Because Lot 8 does not exist in isolation. It is a node in a system. And episode 18 is the moment that system finally becomes visible. In the swamp, the team has been tracking a deliberate cobblestone road running through the bog, accompanied by hand-cut wooden survey stakes aligned with Nolan's cross, the formation of massive boulders arranged in a deliberate geometric cross pattern across the island. In episode 17, a new stake was found, estimated to be about 25 yards northeast of Cone D, extending the alignment. The staking system is not random, it is a survey grid. Someone mapped this island with engineering precision, set physical markers in the ground, and oriented an entire construction program around those markers. The blue clay keeps appearing everywhere that construction matters on this island. Found deep in the money pit in the 1800s, confirmed to be a 99% match to clay found in the Lot 5 structure, and now showing up in the soil beneath the Karma 1 auger at 150 feet in the money pit area. The gray waterproof sealing material that pre-industrial engineers used to protect underground chambers from water infiltration. Same clay, multiple sites, one construction program, and in the money pit, the Karma 1 auger has now reached 212 feet, the deepest documented excavation in Oak Island history. Silver concentrations have been confirmed in the solution channel. A 6th Roman coin has been recovered. A drill rod fragment has been tied back to the 1849 pit blotto incident. The money pit is real. The money pit is old. The money pit is connected to something of enormous value. And Lot 8, with its pre-1700s constructed feature, its medieval bag seal, its fire-setting chemistry, its flagstone floor, its stacked stone structure unique in all of Nova Scotia, is connected to the money pit. Part of the same plan, part of the same operation, possibly the part the architects of this mystery actually cared most about protecting. So who built this? Who had the medieval English artifacts, the fire-setting engineering knowledge, the organizational capacity to haul a 40,000-pound boulder into a precisely prepared position, and the motivation to keep the whole operation invisible for 7 centuries? The Knights Templar were dissolved in 1312. Their fleet vanished from La Rochelle in October 1307 when the arrest orders came. Those ships, their crews, and whatever they were carrying have never been accounted for. The Leeds bag seal dates to that exact era. The fire-setting construction method matches Templar-era vault engineering. The geometric precision of the island's layout, the survey stakes, the cross alignment, the coordinated blue clay waterproofing across multiple sites, is consistent with the Templar tradition of sacred geometric construction. And many Templars fled to Scotland after the dissolution. The Scottish crown defied the papal arrest order and sheltered them. The descendants carried their knowledge into early Freemasonry. Several of Nova Scotia's first documented European settlers were Freemasons. The island that none of them ever publicly discussed may be the one thing they all silently knew about. And the connection to Portugal cannot be ignored. The Military Order of Christ, the Portuguese royal successor to the Templars, was the most active seafaring organization in the 1400s. Vasco da Gama sailed under their cross. Their ships were in the North Atlantic decades before Columbus. A Portuguese silver coin was found in the money pit in 1849. The stonework on Lot 8 has been assessed as having European construction characteristics consistent with Iberian tradition. Multiple groups, multiple centuries, multiple layers of construction, all on the same island, all protecting the same secret. The seal is broken. The feature feature is exposed. The flagstone floor is uncovered. The fire-setting chemistry has been read. The hand-wrought chains have been pulled from the soil. The medieval artifacts have been dated. And directly beneath the constructed stone feature on Lot 8 is a shaft or tunnel that may have been sealed for 700 years. A vault built by people who thought in centuries. Sealed under a boulder that required the full arc of human technological development to lift. Hidden on an island that the rest of the world spent 231 years looking at from the wrong side. Episode 19 is titled Axis of Medieval. It airs March 24th. New research draws a direct link between the Oak Island mystery and the Knights Templar. New discoveries on Lot 8. New answers to questions this island has been refusing to answer since 1795. History has been rewritten on Lot 8, and what comes next is going to make this episode look like the opening chapter. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. You do not want to miss episode 19. And drop your theory in the comments. What do you think is at the bottom of that shaft? What do you think the Lot 8 feature is hiding? The seal is broken. Oak Island is finally talking, and after 231 years, it sounds like it has a lot to say.